Welcome to a very special edition of our monthly pitch event. We're thrilled to be bringing you some of the most exciting emerging startups, all led by female founders. I'm Shea Deaton, Business Development here at OneValley, and I will be your host for today. None of this would be possible without our sponsors, Brand Capital International, ChargeBee, Twilio, and Adnalis, as well as our event partners, HubSpot and the SoGal Foundation. On behalf of the whole OneValley team, I'd like to thank them for making this event a reality, and we'll be hearing from the startups later on. Before we kick it off, I want to tell you a little bit about what we do here at OneValley. OneValley is a global entrepreneurship platform that supports entrepreneurs, accelerates startups, and empowers organizations across the globe that foster innovation communities. Over the past 6 years, OneValley has supported hundreds of startups that have raised over $1 billion. Our mission at OneValley is simple: democratize the resources of Silicon Valley and share them with the global community. We do so through a variety of initiatives, including events like these. Pre-COVID, we were running 80 events a year in person in our various innovation spaces. Today, not only are we running these events virtually, but the online accessibility of them has opened up these opportunities to the world at large, the effects of which you will see today. Now I would like to introduce Passport, our online innovation platform. As you can see, we have over 40,000 members on the Passport platform who access and interact with not only each other, but dozens of corporate partners, hundreds of investors and mentors, and nearly $1 million in discounted or free services. Special for our viewers today, we are offering 25% our premium Passport membership with the code 25female. So if you are not a member yet, I encourage you to check us out and take advantage of the discount by clicking the banner at the bottom of your screen. In addition to the chance to share their startups and compete for a cash prize, each of our participants will be receiving a free annual membership to Passport through our Female Founders Scholarship Program, supported by our partners at Brand Capital International, ChargeBee, Twilio, and Vonage. If you are a founder or know a founder who would like to apply for the scholarship, please fill out the application through the link that has been posted into the chat. Before we get into today's panel, I want to take a moment to hear from our scholarship sponsors. I'd like to introduce Neha Ranavat from Brand Capital International.
Thank you, Shane, for the introduction. We're incredibly proud to be part of the Female Founders Seed and Beyond initiative with our portfolio company, OneValley. Brand Capital International is the strategic investment arm of the Times Group, India's largest media conglomerate, including the Times of India and the Economic Times. We support startups around the globe that are ready to launch and scale in India and provide more than a typical VC. Beyond Capital, we provide a support system that can help you create a go-to-market strategy and a roadmap to launch in India, including product development, media strategy, advertising creatives, and audience targeting. We have experts across the aspects of your launch that can provide you feedback and act as a support and a partner as you share your business with 1.4 billion people in India. We recognize the valuable insights, ideas, and businesses by women leaders and entrepreneurs like you, and are dedicated to helping support this initiative beyond today. We want to make sure that we can provide mentorship, access, and insights to all of the women in this program. And we look forward to working closely with all of you moving forward. If you'd like to know more about Brand Capital International, do visit our website and find us on LinkedIn. We're extremely excited to be here today and are eager to listen to all of your pitches. On behalf of Times Group and the Brand Capital International team, we wish you the very best. And thank you for having us be part of this initiative.
Thank you so much, Neha. Our sponsors from ChargeBee could not be here today, but we thank them for contributing to this program. Next, I would like to introduce Molly Ernst from Twilio.
Thanks, Shea. I hope, can everyone hear me? Good. I think I am. Again, Molly Ernst with Twilio Startups, based in Colorado, where of course it's snowing in the middle of spring, always fun out here. At Twilio, we're committed to offering startups the means to grow and scale globally. And our core philosophy is to embrace and empower builders like yourselves. I myself am so happy to be here. It's really inspiring to see what all of you are building as a female myself. Not only do we have a great partnership with OneValley and love supporting what your team is doing, but very excited to be a part of this event and help support female founders specifically. In fact, Twilio's beginnings are very similar. I mean, the first official product roadmap for Twilio was written on the back of a pizza box in 2007. So anything, can happen. Twilio Startups is designed for pre-Series A startups looking to launch and scale their customer engagement strategy. For eligible founders, Twilio Startups provides product credits, of course, invites to events, access to resources, and my team, as well as myself. So go ahead and visit twiliostartups.com. Again, thanks for having us. I'm so excited to see what all of you are building.
Thank you so much, Molly. Our sponsors from Adnala's cap table by Figure could not be here, but they passed along the following message. At Adnala's by Figure, we're on a mission to transform financial services through blockchain, bringing speed, efficiency, and savings to both consumers and institutions. Founded by a team of proven leaders, including female co-founders, who have already created billions of dollars in value in the fintech space. We value and support female entrepreneurship and are proud to sponsor an OV Passport Scholarship for female founders. And we are also offering a free 1-year subscription of our cap table offering to all the female founders presenting today. Thank you again to our sponsors, Brand Capital International, ChargeBee, and Twilio, and Adnala's at Figure for supporting the Female Founders Scholarship. Today's event would not be possible, nor without our partners at the SoGal Foundation and HubSpot. The SoGal Foundation could not be in attendance, but they passed along the following message. SoGal Foundation is the largest global platform for diverse entrepreneurs and investors with 50 plus chapters across 6 continents. We host over 200 events per year, lead a grant fund for Black women and Black non-binary entrepreneurs, and host an angel investor training program and syndicate with the goal to get more diversity and successful cap tables. Our nonprofit mission is to close the diversity gap in entrepreneurship. Thank you so much to the SoGal Foundation. And now a word from Kelsey Gernert at HubSpot, who will be providing 90% off discount on software, as well as a one-on-one consultation with the winner of tonight's event.
Hello, female founders and OneValley community. My name is Kelsey Gernert, and I'm coming to you from the HubSpot for Startups program. As a female founder myself, there's nothing that I enjoy more than helping to empower the other women in our community to be able to grow your amazing ideas into amazing scaling businesses. And that's exactly what we do with HubSpot for Startups. If you're not familiar with HubSpot, we are a free CRM with a sales, marketing, service, and CMS hub built on top of it with 600 integrations, which makes us your one-stop shop to be able to build out all of the core business processes that you need for your scaling business. Additionally, as a sponsor of this event, we are offering 90% off of our software to the winner, which is a $30K value, along with a free consulting session with myself to help you figure out how do you take your great idea and grow it into a successful business. Lastly, we want to thank OneValley for the amazing work that you are doing with underrepresented founders, and we are excited to continue to work with you. If you are a founder watching this and are interested in how you can access this program and benefits for yourself, feel free to visit us at hubspot.com/startups.
Thank you, Kelsey. And thank you again to our event partners for this evening, the SoGal Foundation and HubSpot. Now let's get to our fireside chat. I'd like to welcome OneValley CEO, Nikhil Sinha, and Sophie Liao of Oyster Ventures, who will be sharing her experiences as a founder, author, and advocate for workforce diversity and bridging the gender gap in leadership. Nikhil, take it away.
Thank you, Shea, and welcome everyone again to the second of our pitch nights showcasing women entrepreneurs. We're delighted to have all of you with us, and in particularly delighted to have with us Sophie Liao, who's the founding partner of Oyster Ventures. In fact, Sophie is a three-time venture fund manager, having founded Oyster Ventures after honing her VC skills at Rothenberg Ventures, where she was a managing partner, and then before that at Draper Dragon, where she was a venture partner. Prior to venture, Sophie managed mergers and acquisitions at 8 Solutions and FFD Labs. She launched a career in media by producing and anchoring at CCTV and at the Travel Channel, and from which she subsequently went on to do business development at the Cameron Pace Group. Welcome to OneValley, Sophie. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Nicole. Always an honor. This is
Um,
not my first OneValley show.
I know, and
Third one now. Yeah.
it's great to have you back with us, as always. Sophie, I'd like to begin the conversation with your own journey. You know, what inspired you to switch from media to business development and then finally to venture capital? And how have your past experiences, you think, shaped your current journey and your sort of current role as a venture investor?
This is a great question, but also a question I'm afraid to answer because before I was looking for a job. The HR will ask me same question, and nobody loved my resume because it's a rather unconventional career path leads to a funding partner of a venture fund. So I would say my past media experience has shaped my current venture position really well because first the name Oyster Ventures, right? Had I not taken the documentary filmmaking route or travel show hosting job, I would not be able to came up with the firm's name in less than a minute. And then I registered oyster.vc within a minute with $10. So my media experience has really prepared me, I think, a much larger worldview and multiple perspective for life because the world is your oyster. Dream bigger, right? I think the second important thing is to be good at working in media, you need to be very curious, resourceful, as well, like well connected as possible. For example, as a producer, I have to connecting all the dots, leveraging all my networks, and collecting as much information as possible, then form a narrative for my audiences, right? So that's the same thing translated into startup or venture capital world is you need to know where your users are, collecting market research information and know how to narrate a storytelling, the content. And so you can pitch to investors, you can also reach to your audiences. So I would say resourcefully collecting information is deal sourcing 101 as a venture capitalist. And then the storytelling skill really helped me for fundraising, which are those two are essential to start your own fund. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great insight. We always tell our founders that they have to tell their story. So that storytelling is very much part of raising investments. And I suppose for VCs, you have to raise your own investment from your limited partners. And so you've got to be storytellers as well. And I can see the media background playing into that as well. As we think about the VC landscape, and it's, while some of the recent trends seem to be heading in the right direction. I mean, the fact is that only about 5% of VCs in the United States are women, and about 60% of VC firms still don't have a woman general partner. So, would love to hear about your experience and challenges, founding Oyster Ventures, and, love to get your thoughts on what can we do both as an industry and as individual firms on how to increase the representation of women in the VC industry.
Yeah, I try to answer the question by doing it, right? I think that's the best answer of all. But my experience in funding Oyster Venture was hard. But I gotta be honest, it's not because of my gender per se. I think, I'm usually not a huge fan of examining an industry with a gender lenses, but the fact is in venture capital world, in Silicon Valley, it is the fact. But for me, particularly funding Oyster Venture, it was hard. It's because one, I was, lacking of LP network. I just don't know who are the, institutions or endowments or rich individuals are. Two is lacking of track record. So it's just as hard for me as and anyone else in the Valley to start a fresh fund, female or male. Although I have to point out is physical appearances does matter a lot. Doesn't matter you're female or male, right? So for example, the first time I launched my fund one, 58 LPs. I had my first LP meetup in New York. Before that, nobody had met me before. We just, communicating with email or phone calls. There's no Zoom in 2016. It's not as popular. So I went there. I was wearing my usual Silicon Valley hoodie or t-shirt. I walk in, everybody start asking me, hey, can you pour me a coffee or tea or pull this chair for me? So I realized that my appearances made me feel as if I'm my own assistant. Well, I had no issue with that, but lesson learned, you got to dress appropriately unless your establishment or track record already speaks for itself, like Mark Zuckerberg. He can pull up t-shirt, but we cannot. So that's a little twist that I want to add on here is like walk into the room, don't think about you're female or male, but do leverage who you are, where you are in life, and think about that and dress appropriately, talk appropriately. Yeah. So
Thank you. As a quick reminder to people in the audience, if you have a question for Sophie, do drop it into the chat, and I'll make sure that I address it. Staying on the theme for a moment on diversity in the venture industry, we of course, we see the lack of diversity on the venture side. We also see a lack of diversity on the startup side as well, and particularly founders. I mean, it's wonderful when we put out our call for female founders for the last month and this month's pitch event. We got 130 fantastic proposals and applications from women founders. It was absolutely terrific to see that. But we know that it's difficult for women founders to get funded, partly because of what you've already identified, which is the lack of a network and access to what has essentially been largely a male club until now. Give us your insights and thoughts for women founders, and what should they be thinking about? What should they be doing to get access to funders and to get access to the networks that enable them to get funding to support their businesses?
I would say, in general, female founders are less confident to reach out and to ask for help. The reason I say that is because culturally, female, as we are having this forced impression, hey, you need to just take notes quietly in a meeting, or don't take a front row seat. Don't be too proactive. I think we learned all that growing up. Now it's time to unlearn and just be just as equal human. I think that's the internal homework we got to do. And then step aside from that, it's in reality, I think there's a lot more female-led venture capital firm, female partners, female GPs. Don't be afraid to reach out to them. Just like me, right? My LinkedIn, there's my email address is right there, even my phone number. So I would say be as proactive as you can, but be prepared, because you have one shot. When people take a leap of faith in you, wants to introduce you to their connections, take it seriously, and then people will take you seriously as well. Because as a female, what I experience as a GP, and also a lot of some of my female portfolio founders experiences, people, they find it really hard for people to take them seriously. Now, how to work on that, right? You're not lacking of resources, you're lacking of the confidence to lock down the resource to help you. So I think that's the key component to it. I would say LinkedIn is a great place to go. Yeah, I answer all my LinkedIn requests. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good advice. And I think, to the extent that there are women VCs, general partners, reaching out to them is something that aspiring founders, women founders should be thinking about doing. I think that's very good advice. Broadening the lens just a little bit, as an investor, what are the characteristics that you're looking for when people are pitching to you? What are you looking for in terms of the pitch, the team, the idea? And I suspect that what you're looking for are the best ideas and the best people who can execute against them. But to the extent that you do weigh um, diversity as a factor in those decisions, we'd love to hear about that as well.
Yeah. So what kind of characteristic I'm looking for in fund to fund a startup? I think because I'm early stage investors, right? It's a little bit different from late stage. Late stage is more data driven, the organizational behaviors. So early stage, I'm really looking into personality. So first is if the founder, female or male, have extreme self-awareness or not. I would just ask a question. Oh, okay, you pitch me. Then I'll ask, what have you done? Success stories, failed stories. What do you learn from past experiences, right? As I think entrepreneurship is a crash course to human development. First step is to be aware with who you are as a founder and who you are not as a founder as well. So that's one. Second is I'm looking for those go-getters. When you pitch me, are you really ready, or are you just looking for network? Which is okay, but be honest about it, right? If you're ready, are you ready to ship your product? I found this common personality trait among female founders is they have this mentality of, oh, I need to have the perfect pitch. I need to have the perfect product before shipping. Drop that mentality because you will only improve by doing. You're not improved by tailoring internally. So that's second thing I want to share with female founders. Third one I'm looking for is courage and resourcefulness, which would be very beneficiary for hiring, scaling, fundraising later on. Last but not the least is resilience or grit, I would say. And I think this is what female comes in play because we have this advantage that I think female actually have greater grit or resilience compared to male founders. And then some brilliant innovations, right, in products are forced by startups' near-death experience. And I found a lot of my female portfolio founders, they are as resilient, or if not even more, than male. So I think that's an advantage. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, those are great insights and great advice for founders, male and female, frankly. We have a question from the audience. What have been the most successful or useful soft skills that you've relied on to overcome the challenges or biases that you might have encountered as a woman in finance?
So it's an interesting question. I'm a woman in finance, but I don't actually have a finance background. So everything I've learned is through doing. What is the soft skills I rely on the most is I don't think it's a soft skill per se. It's a mentality. Is I trust the universe so much. Um, Meaning, if I do good work and if I help other people achieve their dreams, and if what I present, the ideas that I pitch to, are genuine and authentic, and I put 100% of my effort in it, then the universe will give me the best result as possible. So even if I say worked 160 days on the pitch deck, tell LP, hey, invest in me, they reject me, that's still a good result. I still say, hey, thank you. Can you give me advice? Why you reject me so I can be better? So I think that's how I raised my fund one is for entire 12 months, I only closed 250K. But instead of continuously pitching, I start writing how I failed email every quarter and sent to other people who rejected me. It's like, hey, this is the deal I missed because this XYZ reason. And this is what I've learned from the market. I'm just going to share this with you. And they start forwarding my failed diary among their friends circle. So 250K flies in, and like 1 million invested in me, another 2 million invested in me. All those people never met me before. I share this story is I just want to share with all of you here. It's not about a soft skill. It's really about how you believe and how you really your value system. Put good work out there, and the universe will reward you eventually. Yeah.
That's great advice. We've heard from a number of both founders as well as from investors of the importance of mentorship in their lives. Either they've had the opportunity to be mentored by people, and they've continued that work by mentoring others as well. Love to get your thoughts on the importance of mentorship in both personal and professional growth, and anything that you might share about people who have helped you, on your journey, and what kind of advice that you received from them.
This is a personal, story to share. There's so many mentors that I admire and respect in every single industry, in documentary filmmaking, in finance, in cross-border business launching. I used to work for James Cameron, so I was like very afraid to ask him to be my mentor. I don't know, it's because my gender, I'm a female, so I don't know how to ask, or just my personality. But now I've realized that you can really learn anything from anybody. Then that translate into myself is I was worried, am I really knowing what I'm doing? People ask my advice. Can I really give them a practical advice so they can take home, have some takeaways and grow? So I was insecure about, can I be a mentor to other people? But I think now I've overcome those two doubts. Is one, you can really learn everything from anyone you meet on the street. So it's called decentralized mentorship seeking programs. That's what I told myself. And vice versa. Doesn't matter where you are in life, career-wise, you can always teach other people what you know. Don't feel insecure about it. I think before I have this idea, I need to find one mentor. I just call him or her my mentor and learn from it. Life doesn't work that way. You have to separate all the skills that you want to gain and find it in a different person. Maybe that's your best friend. Maybe it's a software engineer just starting his or her career. Maybe it's well-established big names that you can find in LinkedIn and approach. Just have one phone call. I think that's what I want to share the most. And also female mentorship, through mentorship is, I think I've learned the most through teaching other people what I know the best. So just be generous with what you know. Yeah.
Thank you. That's great. And everybody both will benefit from mentorship, but also has a lot of good advice for other people as well. And we should think about both roles all the time. Well, Sophie, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us for this event. We've got a group of wonderful women founders who are ready to tell us about the great work that they're doing, and we look forward to listening to them. So thank you again, and back to you, Shea.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil and Sophie, for that honest and insightful dialogue. Sophie, thank you for joining us tonight and for all of the work you've done and continue to do. Thank you both again. And to get started with the pitching portion of today, I'd like to start by introducing our judges. Our judges this evening are Allison Green of Suro Capital, Ella Lee of ZGC Capital, Shambhavi Mishra of Brand Capital International, and Alexandria White of Reboot Excel. I want to thank you all for being here and give you a quick moment to introduce yourselves and tell us why you are passionate about entrepreneurship. Allison, could you share a quick intro and tell us why you're passionate about entrepreneurship?
Happy to. Hopefully everything unmuted correctly and that all worked, hopefully. So I'm Allison Green. I'm the CFO, CCO of Suro Capital Corp. It's a publicly traded venture portfolio. I've been with Suro since about 2017. when we were under the GSB name similar to OneValley way back when. We're currently an investor in OneValley, so have lots of fun chats with Nikhil. Prior to Soro, I led the finance function at Fundrise, helping them raise capital via the Reg A Plus crowdsourcing, and was a Pro-Inspire Fellow at the Girl Scout Council of the Nation's Capital, leading the financial modernization of the annual Girl Scout cookie sale, the largest girl-run business in the world. Had to mention that. And otherwise have been at Carlisle and Deloitte, but those are less exciting. I'm very excited to be involved. A huge thank you to Nikhil and OneValley. Soro has invested in Nextdoor and Rent the Runway, and we look forward to investing in more female-launched and female-led portfolio companies in the near future. I'm so sorry, Shea, I was trying to get my muting and video. What was the question one more time?
That's fine. It's just quickly why you're passionate about entrepreneurship. Oh,
I'm passionate about entrepreneurship, especially from a female side, because I think a lot of the things that Sophie said kind of, resonated. I think that, the resilience of women, I look forward to the day where, this might be a little, but like where women are selling, male focused products to men instead of men selling female focused products to women. I think that I think that women have a really great intuition and feeling about things that make them really, really great entrepreneurs and very, very successful. And I just look forward to more of them being more prevalent in our world.
Great, thank you so much for that. Well, let's go with Ella, Alexandria, and then Shambhavi, and then we'll come back to our pitching session.
Sure, thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. My name is Ella Lee, and I'm the partner of CGC US Fund, and also the CEO of CGC Capital, in charge of CGC's investment and also incubator operation. Our parent company manage CGC Park, is the largest tech park in China. And altogether, the tech park contributes to all the tech companies in CGC Park contributes to almost 35% of Beijing's GDP. And in China, our parent company also participate in almost 150 RMB funds with a total fund size of over $21 billion. So CGC company is the US subsidiary company, and we perform under an investment plus incubators model. And we have two innovation centers, one in Silicon Valley and the other in Boston. My office is in Santa Clara, Silicon Valley, but also oversees operation in Boston as well. So investment side, we also have a comprehensive fund system that including fund of fund and also several VC funds target at a portfolio from seed to B round. And I'm also planning to add another healthcare focused early stage fund later this year. And meanwhile, we will also launch our first healthcare focused accelerator May this year. So regarding entrepreneurship, myself is a scientist turned venture capitalist. So before I got into the VC side, I was working in the research side, and I had 15 years experience working in the pharmaceutical and also biotech sector. That's why I have also special interest always in therapeutic investment opportunities. Also, I'm looking at the deals from AI sector and also medical device sectors. And I think it's very meaningful and also valuable to OneValley to help the whole female entrepreneurship community and system. This is definitely a great opportunity to get all the support, the sponsorship, and also different insight from different perspectives to all the female founders. That is, and also I'm really thankful can be part of it. Thank you.
Alexandra, off to you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Alexandria White. I am currently the Vice President for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion for Reboot Excel. And Reboot Excel is a women-owned, women-led consulting company in Silicon Valley. And we work with companies to drive gender equity and help accomplished women land new opportunities and advance. And in addition to that, we also build and advocate for inclusive spaces for companies for women. And so my charge and my motivation for entrepreneurship is, as an entrepreneur myself, amplifying and motivating and finding resources for women is just a passion of mine. In addition to being the vice president, I'm also the founder of the Propel program. It's an entrepreneur incubator for underrepresented entrepreneurs. And my task there is to find fundraising angel investors for women in their startups. So thank you, and hello to everyone.
Great, thanks. And Shambhavi, off to you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shambhavi, and I'm based out of Toronto, Canada. I represent Brand Capital International, which is the strategic investment arm of Times Group. We are also one of the key sponsors of the event. What we typically do is we invest into growth stage companies and scale them into one of the largest economies of the world, which is India. I moved to Canada almost 2 to 3 years ago, and personally also promoting women entrepreneurs is something which has been I've been very passionate about this whole issue because I belong to a family where I was raised by a very strong woman, my mother, who's a social entrepreneur in India, and she's broken a bunch of glass ceilings. And I'm myself quite a rebel, and I often find ways and opportunity here in Canada as well to work with the government of Canada and in promoting non-binary founders and women founders. So that cause is specifically very dear to me. And I'm excited to be a part of this event at OneValley, and in any way that I can be useful for the platform in future, I'm more than happy to contribute at any point in time. Thank you.
Thank you to our judges. Today, they will have the difficult task of judging our 8 amazing founders on their upcoming pitches, but there can only be one winner. Our pitching founders will be Cassindi, CEO, and Dana, CMO of Proxifile; Elena, founder and CEO of InSpace; Ingrid, founder and CEO of Safety Docs Global; Karin, founder and CPO of Makina; Chantal, CEO of Click and Clear; Elnaz, founder and CEO of Roybe; Lisa, co-founder and CMO of Tonoshi; Linda, founder and CEO of Citia. A reminder about what's at stake tonight. Our grand prize winner will be walking away with $2,000 in cash. The audience choice will win $500 in cash. Additionally, the winner of today's event will receive 90% off HubSpot software and a 30-minute consulting session with Kelsey Gernert, head of partnerships. As mentioned, all of our participants tonight will be given a female founder scholarship to Passport provided by our sponsors at ChargeBee, Brand Capital International, Adnalis, and Twilio. So let's go over all of the ways you, the audience, can take part in the action. First, ask questions to our pitching startups in the chat. If we have time, we may get to them. Next, rate each startup after their pitch. Your votes determine the audience choice award. And by rating, you will be entered into a raffle for the chance to win 1 free year of Passport. Finally, if you would like to connect with any of our pitching startups, ask for an intro through the Meet the Startups tab at the top of the page. So with that, I would like to welcome Cassindi Chow, CEO, and Dana Sundblad, CMO of Proxifile.
Thank you, OneValley. I'm so happy to be here and tell you all about Proxifile. So what do? We help people and businesses recover what they're owed, and that's how we define claims. It's the legal procedure to get back what is owed. That is what we do. Claims are boring and complex, and if you do it wrong, you can lose your money. But expert help is scarce and expensive, leaving many people to fend for themselves. For overseas creditors, the US legal system is even more difficult to navigate. So we are here to close that market gap and ensure expertise and accountability are accessible and affordable. And we're a new company. Our go-to market plan is only just starting. We closed our initial funding round last month. We even tripled our seed round to over $2.3 million because of so much interest from seasoned angel investors. As a start, the founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, is one of our angels, as well as the CEO of Lending Home. So let's focus today on one type of claim, which is our first service, creditor claims and bankruptcies. Our data was collected from over 500,000 business bankruptcies over 25 years, indicating that bankruptcies peak about 1 to 2 years after recession. So we're expecting an upturn in business bankruptcies over the next few years. However, even if that doesn't happen, business bankruptcies happen all the time. Even without a peak, there are over 30 million creditor claims annually, even at the trough. So even a small piece of this market means big business. And it is only one type of claim that we can handle. There are dozens of others. So what's the value proposition? Debtors enter bankruptcies with teams of legal experts on their side. Most creditors don't have that same luxury, and we are changing that balance. That is one of the reasons for us to found Proxifile. Proxifile fills this market gap by making expertise, transparency, and compliance accessible and affordable. And we're doing this with a $250 cap fee and aligned incentives with our customers. We're building a SaaS platform for legal claims. We call this CLAS, Claims as a Service. And this SaaS model has been used successfully before. We are not reinventing, we're just applying it to a new segment. And this is an example of how our product works. We have a simple intake process for our customers, followed by an expert review by our claims staff. In this case, a secure priority positioning and accurate filing. A written analysis is produced, providing the defensibility of the claim. We provide timely and clear communications with 24/7 accessibility in language that customers get. And here's an example of our dashboard. Communication with our customers is so important. For those of you who've dealt with lawyers before, you often know more about when your pizza order will arrive than the current status of your case. And you get charged for it too. So here it's all covered. Our customers know what's happening on their claims anytime. So this is our founding team. We have a wonderful founding team, and each person has their own area of expertise, whether it's in engineering, law, product, marketing, finance. I've grown companies before. I love building businesses, and I'm so excited to do this with our team here. And one thing I'm really, really proud about is that, we're expanding rapidly and globally. Our founding team, we have over 70% females and in strategic positions. And I'm loving this because I feel like we get a lot done. There's so much progress. And, it really heartens me that that there's so much that we can do. And our team is not just our employees, but also our investors. So I thought strategically very much about our first funding round and how to put together a stellar group that will support the growth of this business at this stage. And we have over 20 plus blue chip angels. And these are including, like I said, Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, Alexandra Vance, CEO of AIP Publishing, Julia Jen, CEO of Zenny Optical, Harvey Golub, the former CEO of American Express. We have 9 senior women executives as investors, and 6 fintech CEOs, including the CEO of Lending Home, for example. So I am so delighted that this is serving as our kind of informal board of advisors, and also could eventually, fill up our board. So I feel like that's a really good support system for our business. So anyways, in conclusion, we have an innovative product addressing a big market gap. We have a wonderful founding team, great investors and advisors. And over the next few months, we'll build on our initial customers. We're already filing claims for revenue momentum, and we can launch our next claim service shortly thereafter for property owners. So 6 months into our journey, I'm so excited about what else is to come. And again, I wanted to thank very much to the group. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to Allison, Ella, Alexandria, and Shambhavi. And thank you for Sophie for the wonderful inspirational talk. It's been really fantastic. And Dana is our CMO, and she will be joining us here for the Q&A.
Thank you so much, Cassindi and Dana. Let's head over to the judges for questions. Allison, maybe you could kick us off. Allison, are you there?
Yeah. Okay. Better? There we go. Okay, sorry. I'm playing the hang of this muting thing. Not used to it. I guess, so thank you, Cassindi. That was super helpful. It's really, really interesting. I know kind of like InsurTech has been a bit of a thing. So it's interesting. I always love when people, you know, the class claims as a service. I think that's great. You have a lot of really incredible backing. My question, I know that yours are relatively new, but generally speaking, what has been your, it's kind of a two-parter, sorry, your success rate or recovery rate to date? And, you know, I imagine that impacts your revenue to date.
So, you know, in this case, it's bankruptcies. There's a little bit of a lag because bankruptcy cases take time, right? So it doesn't happen right away. Usually I think I'd give it another 6 months because on average, you know, it takes, there's a duration period for claims to come back. But, you know, if you look at some of the empirical studies for large chapter 11s, the return rate is actually quite high. And a lot of people, just a lot of creditors give up. It's actually over 45% of return for unsecureds. So it's actually an opportunity, but a lot of the debtors know that the creditors will give up, and that's the opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, really impressive condition after forming the company for less than 1 year, right? You already have so much great funding situation. This is really impressive. I really have to say.
We're only started. We have so much to do.
Yeah. So this is a really a great start. So 2 questions. First, you didn't really have time to mention about your future financial projection. So I know it's really early, but could you give us a really like a ballpark prediction of what is your model or financial model in the next within the next 3 years? That's the first question. The second question is quick. So you run this platform as an independent, is this independent running platform, or you're also planning to integrate this into some existing financial system?
So right now,
go ahead.
So right now it is independent, but you know, if you look at some of the models of, like, for example, accounting firms, we have some plans to integrate this because everybody trusts their accountant, and this is an opportunity where if we integrate, we could provide a service, so we could go onto the platforms. One of our investors is a senior VP at Bill.com, which has done very well with the accounting platform. So he would be a very good resource to help us integrate, for example. Also QuickBooks, also, you know, there's a lot of integrations that we could do. In terms of the financial model, I mean, let me just give you an example. It's $250 and a 25% commission, right? So there's, on the lowest of the low of the past 25 years, there's 30 million creditor claims, right? And the highest is about 380 million creditor claims. So you can do the math. It's not that hard to achieve $50 million if we needed to in 4 years. But of course, a lot of that is, you know, I hesitate to say that because it could be viewed as being too ambitious, or, you know, like I would rather prove it, right? The projections are quite good. I worked at Goldman before. The projections are very juicy. And so I could envision a very nice hockey stick because, you know, there's so many claims to touch that have not, it's an underserved market because people mostly give up.
Thank you. Actually, sorry, I have one follow-up question regarding, so you mentioned later, you may also want, so when you work with other clients, do you need to, for each client, you have to customize your platform to their system? And is that, will that create also a lot of technical difficulty?
I'll tackle this one. Yes and no, that we do some custom work, but really bankruptcy claims are very similar. So claim A to claim B to claim C, there are a lot of elements that are scalable, and the amount of customization is actually quite small. And we actually hope to, the more claims we do, the faster we're going to get at them, because you're going to see the same stuff repeat and repeat. You know, there's only so many things people claim for. There's only so many types of supplemental documentation you can hand in. There are only so many types of things you can do. So we believe over time, we're going to be able to scale that quite nicely.
Wonderful.
And automate quite a bit.
Thank you so much, guys. It looks like we're up on time. Thank you, Cassidy and Dana. Next up is Elena, founder and CEO of InSpace. Please join me in welcoming her to our virtual stage.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elena, and I'm so excited to be here tonight. So today I will be talking about my startup. It's called InSpace, and we help companies transform their existing office spaces into flexible ones and by implementing a hybrid style of work. Even before the pandemic, it was a big and serious problem that at least 20% of all desks were underutilized, and basically companies were paying for extra expenses and their offices weren't being used effectively. This pandemic, more and more companies are switching to hybrid style of work. You probably heard it all over the news. So our market is growing like crazy. I would say that we are the fastest growing market after Zoom, and it just grew 300% in 1 month. We have 11 competitors on this market, and they are all built like traditional booking solutions, and our model is disruptive. It only takes 1 week to onboard a new client, and we are at least 10 times cheaper than all of our competitors due to our technologies that we luckily received our patent in February last year, right before the pandemic. That allowed us to become the first touchless booking system in the world. Our product consists of 3 parts. Software, it's an iOS and Android app. Also, we have a web version. Devices that look like this. So they're really small, elegant, and unobtrusive. And a service that we provide to our Fortune 500 companies as clients. How does it work? So just imagine that I come to the office at 10 a.m. and all that I really need is a cup of coffee and a quiet place where I can work on my presentation. So I'll probably book not even a desk, I'll book a lounge area for myself by the window, have my coffee and prepare for the meeting. Then I'll invite my colleagues to this high desk and I'll run through the presentation just in 5 minutes. And then I'll book a proper formal meeting room, and then I'll come back and work with them. So basically I have different scenarios over 1 day, and I need different types of spaces. So I can also find colleagues within a space. It's really easy to book any space. You just need to tap your smartphone to the device, the same way that you pay for a coffee at Starbucks. And based on all this information, we gain a lot of insight, and our companies can see them in a form of dashboards and also in a form of thermomap. So it allows them to understand which spaces are being used the most and which spaces are being used the least. Our biggest clients saved 6.5 million last year by using our technology. We also help companies come back to the office safely by using social distancing within the office space. We also help them contact trace if any of their employees showed any symptoms. We are really different from our competitors, and you can see here that we are completely wireless, which is really easy. That makes it really easy for our clients to use us. And we can implement our solution into any space. It doesn't have to be a meeting room. It doesn't have to have walls. It can be even a lounge area in the middle of the office. As I mentioned, we are 10 times cheaper due to our technology. We save at least 50% on rent, and it only takes from 1 day to 1 week to onboard a new client, and it takes 4 to 6 months for our clients. We are the only company in the world that provide branded devices and integrations, and we have an amazing team to help any of our clients to implement pretty much anything they want. We have a really strong team. A little bit about me. Last year, Ernst & Young named me Businesswoman of the Year. I've been running an office furniture company for the past 8 years. I've been working in this area, in this field for the past 15 years, designing and developing these innovative office spaces. I've been working on around 650 projects worldwide. And we have a SaaS model. and I'll try to answer your questions. So we sell directly to Fortune 500 companies. We already have 80 clients, and we already have like thousands of people using our solution every day. We are raising 2.5 million in the second quarter, and our goal is to become a unicorn and have at least over 300 million in revenue. So I would be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you so much, Elena. Let's head over to the judges for questions. Shambhavi, let's start with you.
Yeah, that's a great product, Elena. But tell me one thing, like when you're actually approaching some of these clients, there are various security protocols also in an office space, depending on which sector you're operating. So is your product, can the product be programmable for that aspect as well?
Of course. I mean, like we work with top 5 banks, and of course they have the strongest security protocols possible. Our core clients are insurance companies, leasing companies, banks, FMCG, pharma. So all of them have really strong security protocols implemented, and we know how to work with them.
Right. Thank you.
So you mentioned you have 80 clients. So what is your revenue like?
We just reached 1 million in the first quarter.
Which year was your company formed?
It was formed in February 12, 2019, 2 years ago.
2019. Okay. So what about the growth rate of the revenue?
So we are, I would be happy to share this information with you later, but basically right now we are making about 350 per month. And this number increases every month.
And your clients are mainly in which region?
We mainly work in States. We also have some prospective clients in UK market because we work with banks. Some of our clients are located in Switzerland, so we have ambitions to go to Europe, but mainly we work on the US market, and also in Russia because I'm from Russia.
Thank you.
Any more questions from our judges? We still have, it looks like, a minute remaining.
Okay, I have another question. So if you're looking at from clients' end, do you say, I would say, for instance, like co-working space, that would be that side would have a great demand for your product. But if you're looking at the sources of your client, how do you really map them?
Yeah, so instead of offering our product to co-working spaces, and I have experience working with WeWork, with Regius. I've done many projects for them, and actually we are a client of WeWork. But instead of working with co-working spaces, we sort of create co-working spaces inside our client offices. So we make their offices as a co-working space.
So how many devices do you need per how large area?
Basically, if you have 1,000 desks, you will need 1,000 devices approximately. And also you can implement our solution to your parking spots or meeting areas or lounge areas, pretty much any space in your office.
Is that Bluetooth or is that RFID?
It's NFC. So, and we have a patent for these technologies that, that was kind of a deal breaker for us.
Is that, do you think the cost will be an issue for your client?
You mean
like if they need one desk per device, right? So is that a renting system or what is the model?
So instead of, so we charge our clients a subscription fee. It's an annual subscription fee, and we also charge them per each device. It's really cheap for us to produce these devices, so it costs us less than $5 to produce it, and we charge $35 per each device. But our main source of income is not selling devices. Our main source is subscriptions. So on average, we charge a company around $50,000 to $60,000, depending on the size. We have some smaller, paid pilots, and we have also projects that, we have clients that have hundreds of thousands of employees. So
Okay. If I may have one last question. So how do you market your, so this is a B2B, right? So, or do you also do B plus C?
We only work with large corporations. We have some startups too, but we are mainly focused on working with large companies. So it's pure B2B SaaS model.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And so the way how
Thank you so much, guys. It looks like we're out of time. We can have these questions offline, I'm sure. And for the audience, remember to rate each startup at the bottom of the screen for your chance to win a free Passport membership and decide our Audience Choice Award. Click on each company name and you can rate all 8 companies presenting. Scores will be tallied to determine a winner. Up next, we have Ingrid Polini, founder and CEO of Safety Docs Global. Ingrid, welcome to the stage.
Hi, everyone. We are a compliance and permits management software in a $570 billion market. We represent multiple clients on the Fortune 500 list and made more than $500,000 of revenue last year. I'm Ingrid Polini, the CEO of Safety Docs. Our average customer has to manage around 20,000 documents a year, and it's usually done by Excel spreadsheets. This creates multiple challenges. Low productivity, for example, when trying to organize tasks and execute them so documents are renewed on time, risk control and the loss of information, as well as making sure the company doesn't get fined or loses money due to closures, and costs and forecasts, where the predictions of how many documents the company has to renew is not even clear. Let's look at a typical company. This property management company has more than 1,300 properties. For each of those properties, there's a minimum of 40 documents that needs to be updated and kept on top of. That equates to more than 52,000 documents to manage and renew. Safety Docs has designed, built, and launched a software solution to solve these issues. We focus on 3 pillars. The first is cost reduction. The number of fines, overdue licenses, or permits can be managed to 0, and we have proof of that with our clients. Also gains in productivity for the employees that work in the sector so they can focus on other priorities. When we talk about dynamic and assertive decisions, the graphs and reports given in the management team give the management team precise information into where to act next, and the photograph of how the compliance documents look today. As for risk management, the loss of information doesn't occur because all the tasks and all the next steps are in the platform. So for example, if an employee is not in the office or there's a change of personnel, all the information is safely stored. This is the Safety Docs platform. You can see the left side of the screen, all the different reports, risks, and goal management tools that are used by our clients. This helps with future forecasting and budgeting processes. The one at the screen, for example, clearly shows exactly how many documents are due for renewal, documents for expiring, and the compliant ones. Simple, clean UX that is user-friendly. Enterprise software is a $571 billion market worldwide. Just in Canada, where I'm located, the market is around $15 billion and growing. Top of mind of Canadian CIOs, according to Gartner, is cloud software and security. Safety Docs is hitting the right notes. We focus on mining, manufacturing, and food services at the moment. Mining alone invests $114 million in tech, and regulatory compliance is on the top 10 concerns of Forbes executives in Canada. For feed manufacturing and food services, each market invests more than $5 billion in IT, and these markets are heavily regulated, and that's not going to change. We have been building a strong stable of clients representing several Fortune 500 companies over the last 5 years, gaining traction globally as we continue to onboard more organizations weekly. Our retention rate is 98%, and many of those large companies have been with us for more than 4 years. Safety Docs has been profitable since its first year of operation, and we have expanded to new markets in Latin America and North America. We have more than 50 clients globally, and our projections have us hitting the $1 million mark next year. We have a great team working with us. I am the CEO, focused on leadership, technology, and growing our team of 7 employees, joined by my co-founder, whose expertise is in permits, consulting, and business management. At this time, we're working with several global accelerator programs, allowing us to focus on growing our company with high profits and low costs, while offering our clients a great customer experience. This is Safety Docs, a company built on passion so companies can focus on what they do best, and we'll take care of their paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid. Let's head over to the judges for questions. Alexandria, do you want to kick us off?
Sure, Ingrid. Is there a different pricing system depending on the size of the company, or is this just a one size fits all in pricing?
Yeah. So what we did it depends on the country. In Latin American countries, it works per business unit, just because it's the type of pricing that is practical at the market. In Canada and the US, what we do different pricing by user and gigabytes used on the platform, just to give like and in the Canadian market, we have four tiers of revenue, in the sense of if it's a small company up to 5 users, and then to 10 or more than that, and then it grows with the company. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. As the Chief Compliance Officer of a publicly traded company, I can't think of anything more exciting than this type of kind of system, honestly. I was just wondering, you guys, knocking it out of the park, 98% retention rate. It was I was really looking for what industries you focused on, and then you mentioned that, so that was helpful. Sadly, no publicly traded US companies, so maybe in the future. How much have you guys raised to date?
So we haven't raised money. We use our personal finances, and we've chosen not to raise money to this date, so we can start our C+, so basically our Series A next year.
Okay, thanks.
Do you already start making any profit? Have you already making profit?
Oh yeah, since the first year of operation, we have made profit, and we are hitting $1 million next year.
So how much have you already gained?
We're around $500,000 per year.
For the as a revenue, this is the you
yes.
already achieved.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Ingrid, can you throw a little bit more light on your data privacy and how you're handling your cloud storage? And do you have anybody on your team in terms of those expertise? I also saw that you're a part of the Accelerator Center. So any support that is extended from their end on the cloud data management and?
Yeah, of course. The good thing is that with all of our big clients, we have been through like big procurement processes, which allows me to really tie in my security. What we do today is that we are on the Oracle cloud system in a private database that is ours just for our software, and our different clients have different parts. Like we do a separate database for each client, so their information is secure, and there's no like cross information between the companies, as well as applying like different kinds of black box, white box, gray box tests regularly with third-party companies to make sure everything is compliant for the clients.
Great, thank you.
We have 1 more minute. Any more questions from our judges?
Yeah, how big is your team?
My team is 7 people now.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, so I have 3 people in IT, and I have 2 working in the administrative background, and then I have the CFO and me. So yeah.
Okay.
So who do you see as your biggest competitor, and how do you compare your company to them?
Of course, yeah, I had that on the slides, but I didn't have time for the 4 minutes. So basically, we have around 4 competitors in the market in Canada. Each of them do different parts of what we do, but they don't do entirely. So we have Intellex that has a document management platform, but it works basically like a Dropbox, or that you just put the document there and you can just see login, log off information. We have a small competitor in Canada called Expiration Date, which is a platform that just controls the expiration of those documents so they can renew them, but doesn't really give the graphs and all the other information. And we have Construction Online. That is a platform that is more focused on projects, but they do have the expiration date part on it.
Thank you so much, and we're up on time. I would like to introduce Karen Frame, founder and CEO of Makina, to the stage.
Hi, I'm Karen Frame, CEO and founder of Makina. I grew up on a lake across the street from a cornfield that was sprayed with pesticides every year. As a result, my dad is dead. My little brother David is dead. My stepmom Michelle has MS. My other little brother Aaron is sick, and I'm currently recovering from thyroid cancer. I know firsthand the importance of what we put in and on our bodies. And I'm not alone. 98% of consumers demand transparency. and 75% will pay more for organic. However, the real problem is discovery. Shopping that prioritizes health and sustainability is difficult. Finding the right products that fit even my needs and budget is extremely challenging. And many natural products brands get lost on the shelf in large retail chains, and hundreds of thousands of products are buried in a myriad of Instagram and Facebook ads. It's super important that these brands know who their shoppers are, where they're shopping, and what's in their basket. Makina is the leading discovery and data insights engine that matches healthy and eco-friendly brands with consumers like me who are desperate to find them. We analyze consumer-specific needs, like looking for plant-based substitutes, and point them to the brands who deliver them. Shoppers use Makina's mobile app to find authentic, better for you, better for the planet products. Our rewards program allows consumers to save on their purchases while increasing the brand's sales and awareness. Once you download Makina, you can discover and engage with brands, purchase products anywhere, even online. And when you have the product in hand, all you have to do is scan the barcode and submit the receipt through the app. For brands, it's simple and fast, taking only 48 hours to get launched on Makina. Our algorithms give brands more data and insights into consumer behavior. And in return, brands are better able to target shoppers based on the data collected. We have over 415,000 downloads of our app, 107,000 registered shoppers, and with our newsletter, we reach over 1 million consumers. Currently, we're generating revenue and have over 100 brand partners with thousands of products on our platform, with another 500 brands in our sales pipeline. Additionally, we have a variety of strategic partners and continue to close on these relationships on a regular basis, which should allow us to quickly scale. We sell our platform as a service to brands, but the real value of Makina is in the aggregated data we collect. As a result, we're building an entire enhanced data portal where brands will be able to access all their receipt data, which includes data about their competition. So far, we've collected 130,000 receipts from over 32,000 points of sale. The natural products industry is $252 billion in sales and growing at 10% year over year. People are increasingly cognizant of what they put in and on their bodies and the health and the effect that it has on their health and the environment. We're for the eco-conscious millennial and for people who suffer from chronic health conditions. Together, this group is made up of 271 million people. Our team is diverse and highly experienced in the consumer packaged goods, data, retail, and natural products industries. This is my third tech startup and second in the natural products space. I'm a former general counsel and CPA, and I've worked for companies like Intel and Accenture, closing on data deals. My founding CTO, David, has built platforms for Techstars-backed companies and for large corporates like Disney. Some notable advisors and investors were executives at Nielsen, Pepsi, and Walmart. Others were founders of companies like Annie's with successful exits. We're raising our seed of $2 million on a convertible note with a 20% discount and $7 million cap. 770,000 is going to be used to market to brands. 380,000 of the funds are going to be used to enhance our technology, and 850,000 is going to be utilized to acquire another 1.4 million users through an integrated consumer marketing plan, which includes a variety of tactics, such as working with our brands to build out our shopper community. With more and more people making the move to sustainable, vegan, and other greener ways of living, Makina is providing them a home to discover the brands that will become their go-to. Join us today, and also download Makina through the App Store or Google Play to find your next favorite product. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. Let's head over to the judges for some questions. Allison, why don't we start with you?
First off, I'm really sorry for everything that your family has gone through. I think that you've picked up on, a sad spot and kind of really tried to make the world a better place. So I think that that is incredible and helpful. Can you give me a little bit more information on recurring customers and stuff like that and how they interact, and if you've seen churn, what that might be from, or any lessons that you guys may have learned from any churn that might have happened, whether it's a consumer or a brand?
Yeah, so brands, we've had literally about 5 brands come off our platform in the last couple of years. So our churn is extremely low. They're really looking for platforms like ours. They can't get this data anywhere else. We have brands that have re-upped their subscription with us on top of it. And then on top of that, we have brands that have added to their subscription. So they're doing more in-app messaging and whatnot. With respect to customers, that's customers. With respect to consumers. Very few consumers are coming off our platform. They see a lot of value in what we're providing them. They earn cash, they earn rewards, they get free product, they get swag. They like the gamification of the app. And our churn of the consumer is a lot less than any of our competitors like Fetch or Ibotta or anybody else out there in the marketplace.
Amazing.
So Makina, tell me something. So basically, how are you onboarding suppliers? And aren't you in some way fighting with the big retailers like Amazon Prime, Whole Foods? Can you just help me explain this difference?
Yeah, so we're not an e-commerce site. So brands pay us to engage with the shopper, no matter where that shopper shops, online or at a store. So it could be Thrive Market or Amazon or Piggly Wiggly or Farmers Market. We don't care. We're helping that brand get discovered by consumers and collecting all of the shopper marketing insights directly from that consumer. And so brands are paying us. They're looking for discovery by consumers. They're getting lost in all of these e-commerce sites. And Makina is unique in the marketplace in that we have built not just a discovery platform, but we've built an integrated proprietary, by the way, back-end dashboard where these brands can talk directly to the consumer.
And when you're onboarding some of these players, like you said, from the farmers market, how do you ensure that there are quality certifications done? Is there like a process checklist? Because a lot of these suppliers don't really have certifications at farmers markets. So are you targeting the big guys or are you targeting the mid-level people at farmers markets and the suppliers?
Yeah, and it's not just farmers markets. It's a brand that you would normally see in a Whole Foods store, but you would buy it anywhere. So I have been in the natural products industry since 1994. So I know these brands. I'm very familiar with New Hope Communications. We're integrated into the community, which is actually probably one of the responses to one of the questions you guys had. How are we gaining these brands? We just signed a big partnership with the Pet Sustainability Coalition. Those pet products and brands have already been vetted by them. So we look at other groups' accreditation in order to make sure that they're right and we curate it the right way for the Makina platform. Does that make sense?
Got it. And would you, sorry, just one last question.
Yeah.
You would require a massive marketing campaign to get customers on board for this kind of a product. What's your strategy around that?
Yeah, so it seems like we should have to do that, but we haven't. We were actually, we got number 3 on Product Hunt. We ended up being on the list. I didn't do anything. We just got earned media. It's fantastic. I became the grocery savings expert during COVID, how we're going to save. And anytime I was on TV, ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, we would get a bunch of downloads of the Makina app. So we know that with and I'm happy to share with you our slide offline, we have a very detailed plan around how to get shoppers on board. And one of the first hires we're making is a brand delight person. She's going to be working directly with the brands to get their fan base on Makina, because the brands are excited to get information about these consumers and they have no way to do it. This data usually costs millions of dollars with companies like Nielsen.
Got it. Thank you.
Makina, great presentation. Due to your putting your QR code at the end, of course, I downloaded the app. Great app, user friendly. Just a suggestion: if you want to get more information and demographics, I noticed that your gender identity. I work in diversity, equity, inclusion. You only have male and female. So if you could add non-binary, transgender, because we know that people do not just fall into male and female categories. And so, just a suggestion, but great app. And I downloaded it. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Fantastic.
guys. It looks like we're just out of time, and we're going to take a quick 5-minute intermission and hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back to hear the remaining pitches.
Managing and growing a subscription business is a journey, and there are 2 ways to travel. There is the manual way, where disconnected in-house systems, hacks, and workarounds lead to a tangled maze of spaghetti, and then there's the ChargeBee way, where subscription billing and management is automated and optimized, so you can charge ahead to growth and let ChargeBee do all the things you don't want to do, like reconciliation. Instead of spending hours trapped between mountains of data, manually matching transactions between your bank statements and your accounting software, ChargeBee bridges the gap, automatically importing transactions from your payment gateway into your accounting software and letting you reconcile with just 1 click. ChargeBee also does the things you shouldn't have to do, like invoicing. So instead of forcing you to venture into the always changing landscape of tax compliance and invoicing rules, ChargeBee automates your entire invoicing process, including tax management and prorations, so customers always receive accurate, compliant, and beautiful invoices wherever they are. ChargeBee also does the things you know you need to do, like protecting customer information at every step, and the things you didn't know you needed, like having the freedom to explore, with flexible plans and pricing models that allow you to quickly roll out new plans, and discover new revenue opportunities around the bend that point the way to growth. Why go manual? Save time with ChargeBee, the subscription infrastructure for fast growth SaaS.
Starting a company has never been easier than it is today, but growing one has never been more difficult. That's where HubSpot for Startups comes in. With a full suite of marketing, sales, and service software, HubSpot will help you market, sell, and service your customers better. And because HubSpot is a platform, it easily connects to other tools and parts of your business so you can see value from day one. With HubSpot for Startups, programming, education, and software will be there to help you from your first customer to your millionth. All startups who are part of our global network of more than 1,500 incubators, accelerators, and VCs are eligible to apply. With HubSpot for Startups, your startup can access HubSpot's full suite of software at a fraction of the price. Seed stage startups are eligible for up to 90% off HubSpot software in your first year, 50% off in your second, and 25% ongoing. Series A startups are eligible for up to 50% off in your first year and 25% ongoing. With HubSpot for Startups, your startup will have the competitive edge it needs to grow better. If you're a startup and you're looking to accelerate your growth, apply to HubSpot for Startups today.
What if you could manage your cap table on a platform that ensures accuracy and accessibility and provides a seamless way to manage, track, and trade your company's equity? Welcome to Adnalis. Adnalis is the only cap table management platform fully integrated with a liquid marketplace, combining the features you need from a cap table management platform with the power of blockchain technology. Adnalis keeps an immutable history of all changes, corporate actions, and communications, so companies can easily and accurately manage their cap table, eliminating time and money spent on revisions and reconciliation, transforming days of effort into minutes around the next capital raise. With confidence that your cap table has been maintained in its valid state, create liquidity for stakeholders, enhance employee experience, improve investor relationships, provide detailed vesting information and exercise options, receive immediate updates with issuance of stock and raises, validity and liquidity all in one powerful platform. This is Adnalis. Manage, track, trade your equity with Adnalis.
And with that word from our sponsors, we are back to hear the final 4 remaining pitches. Next up, let's welcome Chantal Epp, founder and CEO of Click and Clear.
Hiya. Just before I get started, for accessibility purposes, I do have closed caption on my presentation. It's not always the best, so if some of the words don't quite turn out right, I do apologize. That's Microsoft's fault, not mine. So hi, my name is Chantal Epp, and I'm the founder and CEO of Click and Clear. Music rights are fragmented. On average, there are over 10 owners per song, each requiring individual permission before a music license can be granted. And sports like cheerleading, gymnastics, and figure skating, who use music as part of their routines, require over 1 billion specialist licenses each year, enabling them to edit and adapt the music, choreograph to it, and make it available online. But traditional case-by-case licensing methods just aren't feasible, leading to music being largely used unlicensed. This led to Sony Music suing the US cheerleading industry for multi-millions. I'm a world champion cheerleader, music licensing professional, and music producer. So when this happened, I was perfectly placed to create Click and Clear to solve this $2.4 billion annual untapped global problem. This market in itself is highly valuable, but we believe our approach is scalable to other vertical markets. My ambition is to actually become the everything store for intellectual property rights licensing using technology to unlock untapped revenue opportunities for music and other IP. We are already working with over 600 record labels and publishers from majors to independents, aggregating content in one place with all of the specialist rights needed. We have over 2 million tracks and over 15 million publishing rights in our database. And some of the sports we work with have told us that they've been waiting for over 20 years for a solution, and we're delighted to hear about what we've done. They're very much eager to work with us to eliminate their legal risk and help them grow their sport online. We've made huge amounts of progress during the pandemic and are putting exclusive B2B deals in place with international and national sports federations for cheerleading, jump rope, dance sport, and fitness. The sports we've signed so far have a total available market worth of $250 million in annual recurring revenue. And we have other deals in the pipeline with marching band, gymnastics, figure skating, and others, which are worth over $700 million in annual recurring revenue. These sports write us into their rules, collaborate with us on education, and ultimately drive teams to license music on Click and Clear directly, where we take 30% margin on every transaction. These licenses create the foundation for federations to then license the live streaming and video on demand rights they need to promote their sport online. But while sports can write us into their rules, technology is required to help enforce them. As well as having a rights management database that manages and matches music rights, controlling what goes live, and a marketplace where teams can license music instantly for $10, $15, or $25 per song, we also have a license verification system to assist sports organizations in tracking and enforcing licensing at all competitions worldwide. And later this year, we're building Mixmate, an audio mixing tool for athletes to reduce the high cost of hiring a music producer to create their routine mix. We have a strong management team. By my side is David Walsh, a tech and IP licensing veteran who IPO'd ARM and Frontier Developments, building billion-dollar valuations. He invested in and works full-time for Click and Clear. We also have a strong group of strategic investors who specialize in sport and tech. In addition, Sony Music and Warner hold warrants in the company, which strengthens our position in the market as the de facto platform. We've raised almost $1 million to date and are looking to raise a further $2 million so we can take advantage of the great position we are in with our sports and fitness customers, roll out license verification globally, and build Mixmate. We have strong barriers to competition and expect rapid growth in revenue as sports return to play through the exclusive deals we've already put in place and enforcement by the implementation of our license verification system. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantal. Let's head over to the judges for some questions. Ella, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. So a quick question. So how many full-time staff do you have for your company?
We have 6.
You have 6. Okay. So I see you mentioned the second person now. He's the investor advisor for your team.
He's a full-time member and director of the company. He essentially acts as a COO.
Okay. So how much revenue have you already generated?
So we essentially launched in the middle of the pandemic last year. We spent the first 2 years really building the catalog of music with the rights holders, it takes 2 to 3 years to get the deals in place with major and independent record labels and publishers. And so we've been spending these kind of the downtime for sports, getting these deals in place where we become the exclusive licensing provider for each of the international federations. So we get written into their rules, and have basically been putting these letters of intent in place. So as sports return to play, we'll have a big step up in revenue. We did run a beta before COVID, and we did have some revenues coming in. And so we have, been obviously adversely affected by that, but actually we have seen it being a huge positive for us to then get these very much needed deals in place.
We have 3 minutes remaining, judges.
Do you envision being able to, NFTs are a big thing in licensing of NFTs. I'm just thinking, what's your vision for this? Ultimately, like, kind of what's your big goal? Where do you think that this will, where will you take this and develop this to, where you can be like, okay, we're successful?
Yeah, so, performance sports is kind of our initial market, but we actually see this solution to be scalable into other vertical markets. So the plan is really to, as I kind of mentioned earlier, to become the everything store for intellectual property rights licensing, looking at other untapped markets in music, and then looking at other intellectual property rights as well. We're very much tying together rights management with licensing, with a licensing platform, and then verification to help with tracking all those rights.
Thank you.
Shambhavi or Alexandria, any questions from you guys?
So this current round that you're raising, can you just re-emphasize what is it for right now? This additional capital that you're planning to raise?
Yeah, so this next raise is to help us with our licensing verification system, rolling that out around the world. Because of the nature of sport, we do work internationally. We have exclusive deals with Korea, with Canada, some European countries as well. And we need to roll out that verification system, which is currently in beta. The second part of it is to build out our audio mixing platform, which is specifically for these performance sports, where they require, slightly different things to just sort of free software. And that's really to keep everybody on platform. What happens at the moment is they will get the license for the music, then they kind of go away and hire a music producer to create their mix, to then come back onto the platform and run it through our verification system at a competition. But actually we want to streamline that whole process so that they can license the music, create the mix on the platform, and then that's already available for our verification system. No one's having to download or re-upload anything.
Great, thank you so much. Next up, we have Elnaz Saraf, founder and CEO of Roiby. Please join me in welcoming her to the virtual stage.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. My name is Elnaz Saraf. I'm the founder and CEO of Roiby. A good education is a foundation for a better future, but there are over 250 million children globally at risk of not reaching their potentials by age 5 because they do not have access to quality education, and the education system is one size fits all. We developed Roiby, an AI-powered edutainment system for children to focus on personalized learning through language learning, communication, and also STEM skills. We are the only company to have developed a patented speech recognition engine in children's voice AI. Roiby is conversational with voice AI. It can understand children's answer if it's right or wrong. We also have patent pending technology to evaluate child's interests and abilities through face and emotion detection, as well as machine learning to deliver content based on their progress. With thousands of customers and growing, our mission is to empower children by introducing them to technology, personalized and accessible education early on to help them excel based on their abilities and interests. Let me show you a quick demo so you can see how it works.
Good for humans, animals, and plants to live in and grow. Can you say that word? Say habitable.
Habitable.
You're a quick learner. I'd like us to one day meet those robots on Mars. I wonder if they wear hats like me. You know what I noticed when I passed by Jupiter? It's very gassy. No one can step on it because it's mainly made out of gas. So let's remember, which planet is made mostly of gas?
I don't remember.
Jupiter. Say Jupiter.
Jupiter.
You're a very quick learner.
Roiby was featured 2 times on the cover of Time magazine as one of the best inventions in education and has gained significant media coverage and awards. Roiby provides an active learning experience rather than passively learning through phones, tablets, or TVs. One of our recent focus group actually showed that Roiby helped children to drop screen time by 46%, and their engagement with Roiby increased by 84% on a daily basis. We officially launched our product into the market in May 2020. We are now available in major retail stores in North America and expanding. Also, our recent partnership with Galaxy Next is giving us access to over 130,000 schools globally, which is actually huge. We've also gained 286% growth in revenue. We are now working on Roiby ecosystem. We are transitioning from hardware to primarily SaaS subscription and partially hardware. We envision creating an ecosystem of connected Roibys and its community to provide AI personalized content, to make our technology available to other platforms through licensing, and add further gamification capabilities to Roiby. This will actually provide a massive growth opportunity for Roiby. We have a very experienced team of combined 20 years experience in tech, education, and business. We've raised 4.2 million in our seed round in 2019 and now seeking 5 million to invest in R&D, content, and also launch our subscription and licensing packages. I invite you to join us on this journey to prepare children for a much better future utilizing artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you, Anaz. Let's head over to the judges for questions. Shambhavi, let's start with you.
Yeah, so currently, which geographies is your product available in?
Geography, we are in North America right now. So in the US, and we are also in stores in Canada with Best Buy Canada.
All right.
What is the current price point for a Roiby robot?
So right now is 150. We used to be 200, but based on a lot of user research and feedback we received from the market, we dropped it to 150. And the plan is to actually even drop it further as we transition towards subscription.
And what is your profit margin?
So it used to be 62%. Now it's about 46%.
And where is your manufacturer?
China, Shenzhen.
It's in China. And yeah. I think I watched you pitching before, probably, I don't remember 2 years ago or I don't even remember. I think I was also one of the judges. Because I do remember, like, it's very impressive of the Times cover you mentioned about that. So you mentioned in 2020 the revenue also jumped by almost 300, like almost threefold. So what is your current revenue number?
So it is slightly over 1 million, not more than 1.5 million, because we officially launched the product in May 2020. It was very exciting, but also quite challenging during pandemic. We had some issues like supply chain, but we've been able to actually get more than 1 million revenue.
So you mentioned you launched your product in May 2020.
Yes, that is right. Yes. So we had only 2 months soft launch, and in 2019 through crowdfunding, and then we launched officially the product in May 2020.
Okay. And then your marketing channel is, it's just a
primarily we market through social media, Google, but the one that is performing the best for us is TV. For example, last year in November, we were on TV, CBS, only for 5 minutes. For 2 days, we sold more than 2 pallets. So that was actually really amazing.
Do you see this as a relatively not that a high entry barrier of your product compared to other potential players that may copy what you're doing here?
So in terms of copy, I have to say that maybe they can copy something, but not everything, because first of all, we hold a patent in our speech recognition engine for children. We had, I cannot name them publicly, but we have been in conversation with a couple of public companies to license our technology, because we are the only company working on children's speech recognition, which is a very complicated area. And we even acquired a company last year, which added over 150,000 children's data compliant to our machine learning data set. So creating that technology, it will take years.
And how many languages does Roby?
So right now it's English and Mandarin. We are also adding Spanish this year.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I apologize, our time is up. We have 2 more incredible founders lined up to round up the pitches. Don't forget to rate each startup at the bottom of your screen for your chance to win a free Passport membership and decide our audience award. Up next, we have Lisa Love, co-founder and CMO of Tenoshi. Lisa, welcome to the stage.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Lev, CMO and co-founder of Tenoshi. Remember when you were in grade school? What if you didn't have access to your own textbooks? Completing homework assignments would be pretty difficult, right? Computers are now what textbooks were back in the day. Without a computer, kids will fall behind. We are Tenoshi, and we are providing an equitable digital education for every child in the world, no matter their socioeconomic background. Sorry, it's not moving. Okay, there you go. The problem is that not all kids have access to modern day tech for schoolwork. This is not a new problem. It's existed for decades. The pandemic simply exposed the severity of this problem. When COVID hit, 800 million kids throughout the world were in need of a computer. The good news, we have a solution: educational, age-appropriate, fun, and accessible learning products. In 2018, we launched our first product, the Tenoshi 2-in-1 computer for kids ages 6 to 12, with a retail price of only $199. And with funding, we have many more products and services to come. We are closing the tech learning gap. We have proven market fit and we are ready to scale. We've generated over $2.5 million in revenue. We've sold over 10,000 units. We are a bestseller on Amazon and Walmart.com. During the pandemic, when there was a huge need for kids' computers for distance learning, we launched a GoFundMe campaign. And between the GoFundMe campaign and a generous donation from a philanthropist, we were able to provide over 600 Tenoshi computers to kids in need free of charge. We have huge demand, we keep selling out, and honestly, if we had ample supply, that $2.5 million in revenue could have easily been doubled. Our competition? Well, we've all seen the toddler tablets with the colorful bumpers, not very practical for school-age children. They wouldn't be able to do their homework. However, our Tenoshi computers were specifically designed and built for kids ages 6 to 12. It's a 2-in-1, so it functions as both a tablet and a computer, which kids love. It's preloaded with Google Docs and Sheets so that kids can easily do their homework. And kids' coding apps are also preloaded so that they have exposure to coding at an early age. What the parents love are the parental controls. They can manage and monitor the Tenoshi all from their smartphone. They can see how much time their child is spending on certain apps, and they can even shut down the computer all from their phone. Another competitive advantage is that Tenoshi computers do not require the internet. Kids can work offline and do their homework. Now, there's the laptops for adults, the iPads and the Chromebooks. That can be pretty costly, especially to those families that don't have a lot of money. And they're not kid-friendly, and with Chromebooks specifically, you need the internet. Our business model, right now, we're selling our computers starting at $199. We also have accessories and warranties, which are very high margin. And our major focus moving forward is software and services. We're working with a lineup of content partners, and this holiday, we'll have even more preloaded content where we will begin our rev share model, and soon after, we will be our subscription service. The EdTech market is huge. It's at $227 billion, and it's expected to double within the next 5 years. I love our team. We have a seasoned team with decades of experience. Many of our team members come from families of educators, and in Brad's case, Brad Johnston, our CEO, he was an educator himself. He worked for companies such as Vizio and Toshiba, which is where he gained his insights with the market. I started my career 20 years ago in CPG, in brand marketing, managing a portfolio of brands totaling $75 million. My mom taught the primary grades. She taught in LA for 50 years. And my dad, he was one of the first Black engineers to graduate from Purdue, from their engineering school in the 50s. Our key milestones, we spent the first 3 years in product development, as well as solidifying our supply channel. And then in 2018, we launched on Tenoshi.com, Amazon.com, and then later on Walmart.com. And then in 2020, I called that our breakout year, where we appeared on Shark Tank, and we received an offer from Damon John. We also launched our second generation product, the Tenoshi Scholar, in 2020. We decided to raise funds through the community, so we just launched an equity crowdfunding campaign through Start Engine. We'd love for you to go to our page on Start Engine to find out more information. Tenoshi was created to provide a brighter future for all kids. Every child, no matter their socioeconomic background, should have the opportunity to develop 21st century computer skills needed to excel in today's school environment. We hope you join us in making sure all kids have future success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Let's head over to the judges for some questions. Alexandria, let's start with you. Alexandria?
Yes, I was trying to get my my video to. All right, there you go. In regards to the $199, what is your profit margin on that?
Our computers have about a 30% profit margin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And durability. Can you tell me a little bit about the durability of the product? I know that you said it comes with a warranty. Just a little bit about the durability of that.
Yeah, so our durability, I mean, you know, especially with our Tenoshi Scholar, it's very, very durable. I mean, we've done drop tests. We can actually, Brad has thrown it on the floor and it's actually survived. So our products are really durable.
Okay. Great product. Great product.
Thank you.
Allison, maybe a question from you?
I'm gonna let Shambhavi go ahead, and I'm just learning so much through all of the other questions on these product related things. So I'm gonna let her go ahead.
Thank you. How are you currently marketing this product, and which channels are you selling it through? Are you in direct partnerships with schools as well?
So great question. We are selling through our own site, Tenoshi, and then also Amazon, and then Walmart.com. The school market is definitely on our hit list. We right now, it's all about supply. So we are going to be targeting schools this coming year. And I'm sorry, what was your first question? What was?
How are you currently marketing, which you've already
marketing. Okay, yeah, good question. So we're doing social media, we're doing paid ads, we're doing email marketing. Those are probably the main three. We also do, of course, like influencer marketing. So yeah, and then Amazon ads. So yeah, those are our basic ones.
So regarding the software and also content, are you going to develop this yourselves?
Yeah, great question. So right now we have third-party providers where we preload their content onto our device, and that's where we will receive the rev share starting this holiday. After that, we do plan on it. So a big priority is to hire a software engineer. That's what we need. We need a software engineer so that we can develop our own content. Like I said, we have a lot of connections with educators. We're ready to go, really. We just need the software engineer. Well, first we need the funds, and then we need the software engineer. And then their responsibility would be to develop our own educational content, which we would preload onto our device, and that would be the subscription service.
Thank you so much. Sorry, guys, our time is up. We have to move on. I know there's a lot of questions, but we do have one more. And a reminder to the audience, this is the last chance to vote for our audience winner and your last chance to be entered to win a free Passport membership. Last but certainly not least, Linda Holliday, founder and CEO of CiTIA, to the virtual stage.
Can you hear me? I have my video on.
Yes, we can. You're all good to go.
Okay, I don't see me. So everyone's still with us? I don't know about you, but this is what my inbox looks like. My slides, okay. What my life feels like. Email volume grew 72% in 2020 and is on track to grow 40% again this year. And then there's Slack, Teams, Twitter, text, and the list is still growing. But think about it, across the table for each of those messages is a business critical communication. In the new digital world, these messages are what businesses depend on to communicate with customers, prospects, and employees. So this is the problem. The puck moved and the competition for getting and keeping attention is sky high. Business not only competes with each other, but with Netflix, Clubhouse, everything. And now they are newly at risk for becoming invisible. B2B lags 10 years behind in media habits that have been honed in consumer media. How many times do you open your phone and you literally cannot even read the message? We know this as consumers. We vote with our thumbs. We engage with things that are visual, snackable, navigable. Research has proved that text with images has 61% more impact and 16% more believability. And this is the very large problem that CiTIA addresses. We help big businesses get and keep business critical attention. We're a no-code micro-publishing platform. Teams make content one time, and it's beautiful and hyper-engaging everywhere. And CiTIA cards can contain any media, video, podcasts, GIFs, text, even forms. You might not all be familiar with the B2B world, but it's a huge horizontal market. B2B online commerce alone is projected to be a $9 trillion market. 80% of white collar time is communication, and much of that needs to become digital. So it's at least $1 trillion market. So what do customers use us for? Airbnb uses CiTIA for text-based selling, and they increase their referrals through sharing by 500%. A petroleum company just added a swipeable widget to their website and increased engagement by 173%. And GE reduced cost by 85% and time to market by 90% while increasing leads 3x. A good way to think about Cydia is that we optimize the last inch. We've proven our content experiences consistently delight users. We have a 72% average view-through rate and a 22% share rate. But big businesses also need scalable, monitorable systems and analytics. And the nearly 1 million lines of code this takes, it's just too big for any single business. And that makes this a SaaS opportunity. Multi-channel chaos is a distribution nightmare and a huge analytics expense. Cydia adds the metrics brains to the UX beauty by gathering standard analytics across all uses into intuitive dashboards. So why us, why now? As an insider, a practitioner, I was responsible for worldwide digital on giant brands like Viagra. I was on the field in a way that more engineering focused teams just couldn't be or couldn't see. I was also the first designer admitted to Wharton and studied system sciences in what's now called design thinking. And Cydia is a part of a giant movement to reinvent software from the user first. Companies like Slack, Notion, Uncork, etc., are already massively disrupting the incumbents. Solving this multi-channel problem has led us into progressive web technology long before it was cool. And as a result, we have 2 major patents timestamped very early. We fill a huge gap. The old platforms are expensive and hard to use. We're the only new platform with a clean hub-based architecture designed for unlimited customization in the formats that users prefer. Where are we? Our team has been working together for years. We launched a freemium pilot in Q4 and already grew our logos on the platform by 80%. We shipped 5 new features and added 3 new enterprise customers. We are just kicking off a $2.5 million seed round to finish our self-serve front end and bring in 25 new customers. The plan is to show rapid growth and raise a Series A round within the next 12 months. Thank you. I'm looking forward to your questions here or afterward. I'm Linda@cydia.com.
Thank you so much, Linda. Now let's head over to the judges for our questions. Allison, let's have you kick us off.
Certainly, thanks. Thank you. That's a great presentation. I saw that you're now cash flow positive. About where is your revenue? And again, how many years have you guys been?
We sold our first enterprise client in 2016.
Okay, and so your revenue.
Revenue, we're about at $1 million in ARR, but we've kind of slowed that down in favor of doing this freemium pilot so we can mine our users for lead gen.
Okay, thank you.
Judges, we still have a couple minutes remaining.
So what is the feedback for the already finished or undergoing pilot study with some of other partners?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The feedback. So have you already done some pilot study with any of the partners? So what are their feedbacks? Good.
Oh, the new pilot partners? Yeah. So they're all just getting launched. We've signed 8 of them, Sail Through, Verse, BP Logic, etc. And so far the reaction has been highly positive. They're just getting into market and gathering their data now.
So if there is something that you need to be improved, what do you think would be?
Well, we just integrated Canva into the platform. It was a barrier for a lot of our customers because they don't have design skills or design resources. So Canva is super easy to use, but they don't have any distribution or metrics for the platform. So that combination is kind of beautiful and our customers are already using it.
And also the new pilots that you mentioned, are they the free ones or you're going to also charge for some?
Yeah, it's a limited time free offer and the plan is to upgrade them to paid.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Bobby, any questions from your end?
Awesome. So, of your customers, what are you seeing as the churn? And if any customer does leave or any kind of major corporation does leave, what is generally the rationale behind it? And how have you kind of learned and adjusted based on any type of churn that you've seen so far?
So our churn's running about 10%. We had just spent a lot of effort bringing Maersk on, and then COVID, and they kind of fired everybody. So that happens sometimes. And the real challenge for us is covering these enterprise clients with enough bodies. As you might know, enterprise software doesn't sell itself. We've been very successful in going in kind of medium to top down and then finding the users in the businesses. But we really need to expand our customer success team and support their multiple use cases inside. So that's a part of the use of funds.
Okay, perfect.
Great. Thank you. And with that, we have heard from each of our founders, and now our judges have their work cut out for them. Thank you to all of our founders again for joining us today. I know I speak for everyone at the OneValley team when I say we are all thoroughly impressed, and I look forward to seeing what the future holds for all of you. One quick announcement before we take a moment. The company InSpace very recently rebranded and is labeled as Fresh Connect in the voting section. We want to congratulate them on their recent rebrand, and your votes for Fresh Connect will be attributed to them. We are going to take a few minutes to tally the scores, and we'll be right back.
The most surprising thing about India is how it's changing every second.
It's one of the most booming economies in the world.
It's a huge middle class. People are hungry for new products.
Such a large market that it cannot be ignored.
I believe that any company who wants to grow their business, they have to go to India.
Breaking into India was super strategic for us.
It's just a market we can't ignore.
It's opened up for us the potential of reaching literally millions of children.
There's no better time than now for India.
When we first launched in India, it was so concerning because we just didn't know what to do.
I was really struggling to reach a larger market.
What works outside might not always work in India.
You're competing against literally millions of brands.
Every country in the world is different in how they sell a product. It's a hard, opaque market to break into.
Companies coming from here into the India market, using the right partners is going to be the key.
I eventually met the team from Brand Capital, and they were absolutely the answer.
Brand Capital is the strategic investment arm of the Times of India group.
So when we started the office in 2015, a lot of companies were looking to expand from the US market, and these companies were finding it difficult to expand into the Indian market on their own.
We help them by investing in their companies in order to try and help them land in India successfully.
On Economic Times and Times of India, those are the two best publications in the country.
The power of print today in India is huge.
Because Times has got such a great brand, everyone knows who they are. We must be worth something.
The idea at the end of the day remains that if the entrepreneur is successful, we'll be successful.
The team here have been phenomenal.
They're always willing on a short notice to jump on a call.
They helped us a lot along the way.
They basically take care of us like a family.
Brand Capital wants to give the best solution to its investee companies.
We help them understand the Indian markets.
We've launched close to about 900 plus companies today.
Their network, the insights that they're able to provide, I can't imagine a stronger partner.
They introduced us to key influencers.
They put an entire campaign with me and really worked with me as a partner.
Brand Capital are the experts, let's put it this way, and they're very knowledgeable. That's why whatever they do is coming with a high quality.
Part of the reason why we are so excited about coming to work every day is because we feel that we are creating value.
We help entrepreneurs to see how we can help them grow their companies.
To learn about these different enthusiastic founders, it's a great feeling.
The perception I had before India to coming into India has changed.
India as a market is absolutely extraordinary. I think this is a great time for Indians and the Indian economy.
Let's talk about how you talk to your customers. Whether you're notifying them when orders ship, providing support over the phone, or confirming their reservations by text. In our hyper-connected world, your customers want you to connect with them on the communication channels they use. using text messages and video, through Facebook Messenger and in chat windows, with bots or live agents. 2 billion people use WhatsApp. Are you engaging your customers there? To reach your customers, you need to be on these channels securely and around the globe. But how do you make that happen on your own? Facing a complex maze of thousands of carriers, global regulations, networking gear, old protocols, expensive hardware and proprietary software is overwhelming. But the solution is simple: Twilio. Twilio is the cloud communications platform that more than 50,000 companies and over 2 million developers use as their platform for customer engagement. Using communication APIs, you can send a text, place a call, or kick off a chat from your app or website with just a few lines of code. Easily leverage every channel and type of communication that matters. And as new channels emerge, we'll make sure you can reach your customers there too. You pay only for what you use, so you can try out new ideas for just a few pennies. You get the reliability and global reach your customers demand, and you can win the battle for customer satisfaction and loyalty. With Twilio, you can focus on reaching your customers like never before on the channels they use every day. We'll handle the rest. Visit Twilio.com to chat live with an expert. We can't wait to see what you build.
Thank you for your patience, and we have our winners. Without further ado, to the winner of tonight's raffle for our audience participation, which is a Passport membership for a year, goes to Alexandra Assad. Congratulations, and we hope you enjoy Passport. As a reminder to the audience, if you do not have a Passport account, those watching tonight can use the code 25FEMALE to get 25% off an annual Passport membership. And for the eligible founders in the audience, remember to apply that our Female Founder Scholarship at the link in the chat. Everyone, please turn your cameras on for the People's Choice Award as voted by our awesome audience. The winner of our $500 cash prize goes to Ingrid Polini, founder and CEO of Safety Docs Global.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the votes and everything.
Great. Thank you so much, and congratulations. And finally, the grand prize winner for $2,000, a free year of Passport and 90% off HubSpot, is Lisa Love, co-founder and CMO of Tenoshi.
Thank you so much. That is, wow. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And, you know, we are working hard, and hard work definitely pays off. So thank you so much. You guys were so great. The pitches were wonderful. You guys, your companies, you know, good luck to you all.
Great. Congratulations to all our winners. And thank you again for all our female foundership sponsors, Brand Capital International, ChargeBee, Adnalis, and Twilio, as well as our event partners, the SoGal Foundation and HubSpot, who made tonight possible. And to our speakers, Sophie Liao, and our judging panel, Allison, Ella, Alexandria, and Shambhavi, thank you all so much. Before we end, I want to share a bit about an upcoming April event, the future of robotics for manufacturing and logistics, highlighting the top robotics companies coming out of the Pittsburgh region in partnership with the ARM Institute. The event will be held on April 29th at 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. If you or someone you know is interested in attending the event, you can find more information at the link that's being dropped into the chat. I want to take a moment and thank our amazing audience and to remind you that you can connect with any of the startups featured today via our Meet the Startups tab at the top of the page. On behalf of myself and OneValley, thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you again to all of our founders. We can't wait to have you back again soon. Take care, everyone.